Joe Dean Brown and Diane Lee Brown are Korean orphans who were adopted about 12 years ago by Mr. and Mrs. Joe Brown of Kennedale. They're both in the 7th grade at the Kennedale Middle School. Joe Brown alleges in his suit that his children have been discriminated against by students and staff in the Kennedale school system. School Superintendent Don Witt's out of town and unavailable for comment. Middle school principal Jerry Neely tells me that he knows of no official policy of discrimination, although Mrs. Brown tells me that Neely has had to intervene in the school band department on behalf of her son. But the Kennedale School Board, whom Mrs. Brown charges with ignoring the whole affair, is used to adversity. The board has already drawn fire from all quarters this year for raising taxes to what a sizable number of citizens call an unbelievable level. And there's now a move afoot to get the school district disbanded and consolidate with Arlington or Mansfield. But Mansfield says no way. It's hard to judge just what will happen now, but the Kennedale school system is going to be faced with more and more problems as the days go on. Jay Lewis, Channel 8 News on the Move in Kennedale.
Do you have any idea who's responsible for it?
Well, sort of, yes. I think it's a couple of the friends I do a lot of flying with, and they're just crazy enough to do that.
It wasn't the Confederate Air Force in this case.
No, not this time.
That's amazing. How about the reaction, Mike? When we first saw it fly over, I saw Bob Lilly just break into uproarious laughter. Where were you when you first saw this?
Well, I was just kneeling down over here, and I heard Bob laughing, and I turned around, and then I heard the chopper, so it's quite funny.
You don't sound very sincere when you say that.
Well, you know, it's kind of strange. It's never happened before, but I don't know what to say. Maybe we got a few fans left.
Well, I would guess that that's the case, Mike. Let's get a little serious. How have you been in the dark days for you?
Well, it's totally new and kind of strained, but heck, you just keep knocking and you never know what's going to happen. Something, Toni could get hurt or something. You know, you just never know, and so you just have to stay ready. It's kind of like being on alert all the time in the Air Force, I guess. But it's been kind of hard, depressing the first week, and then I finally talked myself out of that. And I think it's taught me a whole lot to respect the other guys, and they've been real friendly, and they've helped quite a bit.
I look for a good defensive ball game. They have given up very few points. We've given up very few, both of us under 100 points. So I feel like it'll be a good ball game, and the breaks will determine the outcome of it and all.
Can you assess your team for me?
Well, overall, it's kind of hard. We feel like we're real balanced as far as personnel is concerned. We feel like we have a lot of good people doing a good job for us, and it'd be hard to say really where our standpoint or strong points would be on this.
What are some of your stronger players?
Well, like I said, it'd be kind of hard for us to say. We feel like we've got the best quarterback in the city in Mike Akard, who has been doing a real fine job. 61% of his passes he has completed. We have two of the finest receivers in our district, I feel, is Calvin Axtell and Jeff Webb, who both of them are in the high standings in receptions. Our running backs, we have four, which you can't consider we have two starters because all four of them alternate just as much as the other one, and they have carried the football only about 80 times is the most either one of them have carried. So we feel like that our line has been doing a good job in getting off and attacking people, and this has been the success of us moving the football. And so we don't look as we have one outstanding person or two outstanding people. We feel like we have a group of good people in there.
Are the boys up for this game?
You bet.
Well, if we started now, Jerry, we'd start Rick Duplantis at our low post, and Jeff Overhouse at our high post, and Wayne Howard and Bob Gobin on the wings, and Mario Brown on the point. And then we'd probably come in with Randy Knowles for the inside people and Bobby Mackey for the outside people.
Is Overhouse your most experienced player?
Right. He's the only player that we have that started over half our ball games last year. He was sophomore of the year. He's got a chance to be a big leaguer.
Do you expect much help from your freshmen this year?
Well, just Knowles and Mackey could play quite a bit. And then we have one more sophomore, and Joe Arsenaga. Joe's a good shooter and could play some against the zones.
How do you think the conference race will shape up? Is there any particular team you think will have more losses than the rest?
Of course, I haven't seen the junior college transfers, but there's several of the teams that look good on paper. Right now, we're not one of them.
Well, teams have had good years in those years when they build with experience, you know.
Right. Well, we're not. We feel like we have some young men with some talent and everything. It just depends on how much we improve in December, what we're going to do in January and February.
I mean, because the way they are beaten and whipped and the way they kicked around and pushed around there at the school is...
Do you mean by the teachers or by the students?
Teachers and students both.
Are you saying that when they're beaten by the students, the teachers don't do anything about it?
The teachers, they play like by Jills that they don't have such children like that there, that we are lying about the situation.
Can you give me some examples of this?
Well, when you talk to one of them, say the principal or something other, well, he'll say, well, I don't have no children of that kind here. And when the boy comes in and the children and stuff call us and tell us that the boy isn't to blame or nothing, the other kids is jumping on him and stuff like that.
Yes, I think it could be passed if, again, as always is the case, the people want it done. But the congressmen are not going to do anything until and unless the people want it done. And for years I marveled, while I was a congressman and since, and I've continued my studies, why people are not more moved. Now, they were moved by the Lieutenant Calley case to such an extent, the White House was buried in mail. And the president, as you recall, immediately relieved him from the incarceration. The busing situation, back to your question, is going to be as a great moment to the people in the future as the past, because I think they're going to finally learn to live with it, which is, I suspect, what the government wants them to do.
The Federal Reserve Bank of Dallas no longer has money to burn. It has the money, all right, some $20 million old dollars a month to destroy, but it also recognizes the problems of pollution. So a Tyler, Texas company came up with a green machine that eats money. The National Environmental Policy Act of 1969 permits money to be destroyed by means other than burning, but until this week, every Federal Reserve Bank in the nation was still putting old currency to the match. Dallas is the first bank to use this new machine, and several dignitaries were on hand from around the country and Mexico to observe. About 400,000 bills a day are fed into the mouth of J.B. His tongue, a conveyor belt, carries the packages of money into high-speed cutting blades, pulverizing the bills. The finely beaten material, resembling raw cotton, passes through a 3/16-inch screen, then through a funnel collector. A floor below, the collector passes the tenderized legal tender into baling equipment.
These large plastic bags full of green pulp represent several million worn-out dollars. But it's not a total loss. A building materials company is interested in recycling the old money into a roofing felt. It'd be nice to see an old friend retire on a happy home. For Channel 8 News on the Move, this is Judi Hanna.
You've probably heard of water under the bridge and a bridge over troubled water. Well, this old bridge is over seemingly placid waters. Old East Grauwyler Bridge is a shortcut from Irving to Brook Hollow in Dallas. The old bridge met its recent demise about 3 weeks ago when heavy rains washed out the east end. Some people love this bridge and need it enough to fight for it. One of these fighters is Mrs. W.O. Petty, an Irving resident. Mrs. Petty lives near the bridge and began gathering signatures on a petition when she found out there were no plans to restore the bridge. Today, Mrs. Petty took those signatures in hopes of seeing the mayor of Irving, Dan Madkin, at the City Hall. There, she took the 660 signatures and was refused an audience with city officials. So she left them there in hopes of the mayor seeing them later. I asked Mrs. Petty why she is fighting City Hall to preserve this old East Grauwyler Bridge.
I realize just how important this bridge outlet is to the people of Irving. I live here on Proctor Street and I see the traffic data. There are at least 1,500 cars that go and return from work each day.
What will you do if these efforts, these petitions, fail to get the attention you need?
Well, I guess I'll have to seek other aids.
To further complicate things, the bridge has three owners. The east end belongs to the city of Dallas, the middle belongs to the county of Dallas, and the west end belongs to Irving. Dallas city officials have said that the bridge only gets 30 or so cars a day and doesn't warrant the $50,000 it could cost to repair the bridge. So the question remains, will the bridge be spared and repaired, or will it be left abandoned? This is Donna Witkowski for Channel 8 News on the Move.
This is the beginning of a check for diabetes. What he's doing now, he's taking a sample of my blood, then he'll check it out through this particular meter. Diabetes is the 8th largest killer of people in the United States. Last year, 37,000 people died. The man who's doing the checking for me is Ray Wells. Ray, now that you've got the blood, what do you do with it?
We allow the blood to remain on the strip a specified amount of time. Then we wash the blood off using water from a wash bottle and blot it, place it in the Ames Reflectance Meter, and get a direct readout as far as the amount of sugar that's in the blood at that time.
All right, well, let's check it and see how we do. They say that diabetes is most prevalent in people over 40, those who are overweight, those who have blood relatives who have had diabetes, and those women who have had babies that weighed over 9 pounds. How does it read?
72 milligrams per cent. You're within the normal limits.
That's nice to know. The diabetes checking will be going on at Forum 303 in the mall Thursday, Friday, and Saturday of this week. Jerry Park, Channel 8 News on the Move at Forum 303 in Arlington, Grand Prairie.
Good morning, Dave. What do you got here? Morning. Oh, we've got a few turkeys. As a matter of fact, these are representative of 50, 20 to 25-pound turkeys that have been donated to the Thanksgiving Super Feast by a woman who would like to remain anonymous. And well, now, you're in the middle of Lee Park with these turkeys. This is not exactly the place to go cooking them, is it? Well, this is where we're going to have them, where we're going to serve them after they've been cooked. The idea is that we have 35 turkeys that need cooking. 15 of these 50 that I mentioned have been spoken for. People are going to cook them. And we need somebody with large ovens, a restaurant, or maybe a private individual or someone who, if they do have the space or the time, can cook a turkey for us to make the Super Feast another success like it was last year. So in other words, you're just soliciting help in preparation. Right. That's exactly it. Is there any significance this morning to being, say, cold turkey in Lee Park? No, no significance whatsoever. I just thought it'd be nice to show people what the turkeys look like and to give them an idea that this is not a sliced turkey sandwich just like we had last year, which was made up of turkey rolls.
Go! Okay, now you're 17 there. Get it, Scotty. Little deer? Little deer, Mike?
Little advertising never hurt anybody, right?